Hey everyone, I'm Robbie Cornthwaite.
I'm Daniel Mullen.
I'm Angelo Costanzo.
I'm Marco Flores.
I'm Marcelo Carusca.
I'm Ian Fife.
This is Casio, and you're watching.
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 And you are watching
Pure Bred Reds, Adelaide United Fan TV.
Hi, I'm Daniel Mullen, former Adelaide United player and Asian Champions League winner with Western Sydney Wanderers. When it comes to any of my soccer needs, I do my shopping here at Soccer Locker. An Australian-owned and operated business, the store is located at Shop 5 of 181 to 183 Grange Road, Findon. Founded in 2017, Soccer Locker was introduced into the market to fulfil all the soccer-related needs of Australians, providing a huge range of quality clothing and equipment ranging from soccer balls, team kits, goalkeeper gear, accessories and much more. Recently arrived stock also includes stunning retro kits from some of our favourite past eras as fans of the world game. Soccer Locker is a specialist in premier range boots, Adidas and Puma, goalkeeper gear and licensed merchandise. Visit us online at www.soccerlocker.com.au with free delivery Australia-wide. So get shopping now at our Findon store, open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday and open Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
G'day guys and welcome to the Pure Bred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV. I'm your host Ellis Gelios, coming to you from the studios again this week as we preview the big game against Melbourne Victory in the FFA Cup on Wednesday evening, and I'm joined by a fan favourite when it comes to all things South Australian football. He's been on the show a number of times and he's my good mate, Mr. Comets, Mr. Football, Mr. Dimi Pana. Dimi, you're looking like you've got plenty of the South Australian salty beach water shining through that lovely tan skin of yours at the moment. So you must be enjoying your holidays.
Let's just say that Aldinga Beach got quite used to it, mate. It was very nice down there and yeah, very happy to be on the show, mate.
Great stuff. And we love that you don't have COVID either, because we had a bit of a scare there, didn't we, Dim?
Yes, we did. Yes. Unlucky for my good friend who has contracted it, but luckily for me, I was just a casual contact, got the test back negative, and we're ready to go.
Now, Dim, before we get into it, it's a 7:15 kickoff at Coopers Stadium against Melbourne Victory on Wednesday evening. Why don't you just bring us in on what's been going on in your life? Obviously, you're very close to the Comets Football Club, the Adelaide Comets here in South Australia, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time watching you, but I'm sure everyone's acutely aware of how attached you are to the club. Now, we didn't have the best of finishes last season, unfortunately. The grand final proving elusive for the club once again, very frustratingly, but club's been very proactive already going about making some signings, and you've been very close to it all with the pre-season now commencing as well. So bring us in on everything that's going on there with your local club, the Comets.
Yep. Yeah, another disappointing grand final loss. Look, you can't blame anyone. I mean, when it goes down to a penalty shootout, it's just one of those, in that case, one of those nights. But yeah, we've actually signed two former Adelaide United youth team players in Thomas Briscoe and Dylan Smith. Both had little stints at the club back in their heyday. So yeah, brought in those two. We've promoted quite a few youngsters within the club as well, and we haven't lost many as well. So Ninko Beric going to White City Belgrade, Chris Christopher's going to West Adelaide Hellas, and Johnny Karatzis not playing at the moment. So yeah, look, the boys have had a bit of a break. We came back in December, trained for about 3 weeks, and we've had a nice break, and we've started back this week, starting our block again for pre-season with a game against Salisbury on Friday night.
Great stuff. Adelaide United, former Adelaide United youth team players just flying around everywhere there. Dim, I might need you to get me some help with securing a Dylan Smith interview. So we'll see how that goes. One of my favourite ever ex-youth players to come through, I've got to say. Let's talk all things Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory, Dim. It is a 7:15 kickoff on Wednesday night at Coopers Stadium. Very, very nice to see as many people fill the stadium as possible, considering that we haven't had the best of crowds recently, and it is Melbourne Victory, so we want as many people there as possible. But Dim, some concerning news breaking just a few hours out of this game commencing, and that is that on top of Carl Veart somewhat bizarrely announcing the Ben Halloran departure in his post-game press conference after the Wellington win, which is pretty unusual. It's not really something that adheres to club practice. They usually want to get it out in a proper PR type of way. But Carl Veart telling us in his post-game press conference, Ben Halloran's going. And then on top of that, it's broken today that Stefan Mauk, the captain of the club, would you believe, is apparently close to securing a deal in Japan. Now, firstly, what do you make of both of these? Well, one is a potential departure, the other one's confirmed. What do you make of both of these occurrences, and how hard are both of them, assuming Mauk goes, how hard are both of them to replace?
Two very good players, aren't they, Ellis? Ben Halloran's had a very good career, not just in the A-League, but also going and playing in Germany for a brief stint over there as well. And since he's come to Adelaide United, he's been one of the most consistent players playing for the club. So he's going to be a very tough loss. And to lose club captain in Stefan Mauk, who, has done a lot of stuff outside of the pitch. Going to the local clubs, making sure that his inner game journal is out and available for everyone. It's going to be a tough loss to replace for Adelaide United. Two very important players, both in that attacking third of the team as well. Halloran playing on the wing and Mauk recently moving in as a 10. But hopefully the club has, if they do lose both these players, they have solutions in hopefully signing some other players as well, because Kusini Yengi on the long-term injury list as well doesn't help the cause. And also, Alassane Toure moving to MacArthur. So we are quite light on, but, Asad Kasumovic has come in from Adelaide City. We've also seen Lockie Barr come in from Adelaide City as well. So it's good to see two players that have done really well in our local scene, get the opportunity to showcase what it's about. And, but to answer your question, if we do lose Mauk and losing Halloran as well, will be very detrimental to the season.
Yeah, totally agree, Dim. Just on Mauk leaving, does it present a bit of an opportunity in the sense that with having Stefan Mauk in the midfield, it's kind of prohibited us from actually getting a proper number 10. So does it give the club a license to go out and now find that elusive sort of purely attacking midfielder that we've lacked in the last couple of seasons? Because we know that Stefan Mauk isn't a 10, as well as he's done on occasions trying to fill that void.
Trying to find the next Marcelo Karuska, I think you're asking for, Alice. Look, it's going to be very interesting. I think Stefan's done a very good job plugging that hole in the number 10 role. He works very hard. He gets up and down the park, which I think Carl Veart really likes him to do. So he does give us that support defensively as well. Recently starting Isaias and Kwande in the midfield as well. It might mean that Dorigo comes back into the midfield, and whether Kwande pushes forward or whether we just go with a flat three in the midfield and go a little bit higher up top with our wingers. Look, Carl's going to have to make these calls himself, and it also really comes down to the resources that the club are willing to give him. You know what I mean? Are they going to look to replace these two players with international signings, or are they going to look to replace them through the local scene? It's up in the air at the moment, but it will be very interesting to see what happens.
Just regarding the captain, is it a no-brainer to give it straight back to Isaias?
Yeah, very interesting. I think Isaias is pretty much running the show there as well. I think he's guiding Stefan Mauk, and whether they give it to a Jakobsen or look, I think Isaias would be the right person to give the captaincy back to.
Yeah, well answered. Now, Wellington Phoenix, who beat them 4-0 in the A-League last Saturday night. It was a good performance, pretty well a complete kind of showing that we haven't seen from the club this season. I think it's fair to say. So what did you make of that win over Wellington? They were quite undermanned, as were we in some ways. But we know that both these sides were struggling going into this game. We obviously thoroughly deserved to win it in the end.
One word, Ellis, for me, it comes down dominant. I thought Adelaide United was very dominant against Wellington. I was really impressed with Ryan Kiddo as well. I thought he was well and truly the man of the match. I thought he was brilliant, offering that width down the left-hand side. Did his job defensively as well. And again, great to see Ryan. I mean, for someone that hasn't really cemented himself into that lineup, I thought he did himself a great job, and hopefully we could see him stick in that position for the meantime, because I thought he was brilliant. But yeah, Wellington weren't the best, missing quite a few players, but I thought Adelaide United, who were playing quite good football at times, but just weren't getting the results, really put in a proper performance.
Hawley, the new goalkeeper, 16 years old. Do you know much about him?
I believe he, I coached the reserves at the Adelaide Comets, and I believe he played against us. So he wasn't even in the youth team. He might have played a couple games.
Reserves.
I'm not 100% sure, but he'll be the youth team reserves keeper. And again, United have some really good up-and-coming keepers coming through the ranks, and they're getting looked after by Eugene Galekovic as well. So, look, it's funny because, Gorsey has been very unlucky to not be starting. Delianov and him have a really good battle, and then once Gorsey gets COVID, bang, Delianov does his shoulder, I think it was, or elbow, something
dislocated shoulder.
Bang, there you go. And then young Stephen Hall comes in and makes his debut at the tender age of 16. So well done to him. Congrats, and we wish him all the best in his career.
Absolutely, we do, and it's very exciting to see the plethora of young goalkeepers that we've had come through the club over the last 10 years. But just on the goalkeepers going into the game against Melbourne Victory, Carl Veart said that Delianov, they're not going to risk after he dislocated his shoulder. Now, I believe Gorsey / Gouchy, whichever one you want to go with, will be out of... It is
pronounced Gorsey, just to let you know.
Yes. No, it's a bit of a... I don't know. I've spoken to him, and he seemed to think that he's happy to be called Gouchy, but we're happy that you bring the real news here to the show. Just on the goalkeepers though, I believe that Joey G, is out of quarantine in time for the game on Wednesday night. So would it be? I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't play Hall, right? Or for whatever reason, does he go?
He's still very young, and look, he had a very good game. He wasn't really tested, to be fair, by the Wellington attack.
He was just commanding though, Dim. He looked confident.
He was, and he 100%. He was very impressive for a 16-year-old. But I feel that Joe's in front of him in the pecking order, and I think it's really Joe's opportunity now to take control of that first team keeper spot. So, on a personal note, I'd probably play Joe. But again, we got to work out how he's feeling, what's his health like, and if not, they're gonna throw the kid in, and so be it. And like I said, hopefully he gets himself another clean sheet.
Now, talking about kids, Carl Veart said in his post-game press conference after the win against Wellington that we are 100% playing a weakened team against Melbourne Victory in the FFA Cup. He said, we're going to play a lot of kids. Basically, our hand's been forced because of COVID issues, injuries that we've had. We've got to rotate the team, so therefore there is no other way to approach this game other than to play a pretty young team against Melbourne Victory. Now, here's my question for you, Dim. It's FFA Cup. It's the cup competition. It's probably, I think, it's not a controversial thing for me to say the only silverware we have a realistic shot at winning. And we're known as the FFA Cup Kings as it is. We're still defending a title, obviously, from all the way back in 2019. And it's 2022 now, which is just astonishing, isn't it? But listen, is this a little bit irresponsible? Should he have played a weakened team against Wellington so he can play his best team tonight? Because surely it's not a great look at a latter stage of a cup competition to be playing a weak team as the home team as well.
It's a very good question, and it's obviously Carl and the coaching staff's decision, but I probably wouldn't have played a weakened team against Wellington. They needed to get the 3 points in the league. They needed to get the monkey off the back because, there were large parts of the games where Adelaide United were dominating against these teams that weren't really picking up results. So obviously you need to put the ball in the back of the net to be able to win games. And disappointingly, in the first 5 games, Adelaide United hadn't got the win. So I wouldn't have rested against Wellington Phoenix. And look, the squad has quite a bit of depth as well. And plus, Melbourne Victory over the last 3 games that we've seen them play in, they've played quite a different squad team as well in the cup competition. So, look, it gives an opportunity for people like George Timotheo, Dorigo to get back into the team. I mean, young Popovic, who I've got a lot of praise about him. He's a really good young kid and a really good player as well, and probably deserves his chance.
Your mate Yaya.
And also, yeah, 100%. Lachlan Barr, who's now signed for him. So the depth is there. Look, I do understand where you're coming from, though, because the FFA Cup is a great opportunity to win some silverware for the club. And by resting certain players may hinder our chances. But at the end of the day, Carl's paid the big bucks and whatnot, mate. So we'll see how he goes, and we take it from there.
Correct. Yeah, that's pretty much the case, isn't it? The decisions lie with him, and he has to wear it. But hopefully he won't be wearing it, and it'll all pay off on Wednesday night. Now, someone you know very well, Kusini Yengi, has become the focal point at Adelaide United after Tommy Urich moved on. He's unfortunately injured for a long period of time, possibly, 3 or so months on the sidelines, Dim, which is quite tragic. You know Kusini very well. I'm sure you saw him get over these injury spells when he was coming through as a junior at the Comets. So talk to us about how big of a loss he is. Can we rely on Blackwood as the 9 for that long of a period of time, with the January transfer window now open, mind you? And how will he approach his rehab? Because it's a big injury for someone that's just gotten in the limelight for the first time, and you know, in a position where they're not having to rely on other players being out of form. You know, he's now the main man, and suddenly he gets this really bad injury. So, what will his headspace be like at the moment?
He's going to obviously be disappointed with him, with what's occurred, because obviously injuries have plagued his career so far. He's a huge loss for Adelaide United. I went and watched live against Melbourne Victory, and going down to Cooper Stadium, and there's just even so much when there's games where he doesn't score, the opportunity to hold the ball up and create options for other players has been really good. I've seen a huge improvement in that part of his game. He throws his body around so well. And look, at the moment, I mean, he's picked up the quad injury. You've said 3 months. I think it could be even longer, to be fair, because they're tough injuries to overcome. But we've got George Blackwood in the squad now, and plus signing Asad Kusimovic, who had a very good season in the NPL, I think gives an opportunity to say that if George doesn't really take control of that number 9 position, that you can always throw aside that chance as well. And like you said, you've got Mohamed Souré slowly coming back into the fold, Yaya Dukali. So there are options there. But like I said, I thought George had a very good game against Wellington Phoenix, held the ball up well, let players into the game. And like you said, luckily as it sounded, he still scored that great goal coming off Goodwin's volley, but he also won us the penalty for the second goal as well. So great signs for George, especially on his first start. To get that goal straight off the bat is important for his confidence as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the last time we played Melbourne Victory, it wasn't that long ago here at Cooper Stadium, lost 2-1 in that game. Dim, I think fans will recall that we probably had more possession in that game. So what lessons can we take out from that loss?
Tony Popovic plays a counter-attacking type of game, and that's what he did when he came to Cooper's. And in saying that, as much as we had the ball, there were really good chances that Melbourne had, because, I mean, our probably lack of distribution at times, within our structure being quite open, Marco Rojas could have scored a hat-trick that in that first half, but it was some really good saves from James Delyanov. But look, they're going to sit in, they're going to make it uncomfortable for us to create clear goal scoring opportunities, and they're going to try and sucker punch us. So we're just going to have to be very smart with the way we use the ball. When we get it into the middle third, you need to not burn it. You need to be able to create good goal scoring opportunities from the possession that we've got, and hopefully we can see an Adelaide United team win and make the grand final.
Two-pronged question here, and it's a bit of a curveball. On Melbourne Victory, what do you make of them this season? And is it damning on the league that with them being so bad last season, all it took was opening the checkbook and suddenly they're the cream of the crop again? Is that damning on the league, or am I disrespecting them there, Dim?
I think, a little bit of disrespect because, it's not just opening up the checkbook. It's Tony's come in, and Popovich is a very, very, very experienced coach. Has done amazing things, from being at Perth Glory with Western Sydney Wanderers, getting his opportunity to try it out in the Greece's second division with Xanthi. And one thing, what Tony Popovich's team's going to be, it's going to be organised and structured. Okay, signing Spranovic back up has been a huge signing for them, and that's someone there that can lead that group together. And they've picked up some really quality players that are providing that spark in the attacking third. Nick D'Agostino is doing a great job. Marco Rojas provides that energy. So they've got a very well-rounded squad, and I understand where you're coming from. Yep, they have signed some players, they have spent a bit of money as well, but Popper doesn't just go and sign, or that doesn't look like he just goes and signs anyone that's available. He does pick and choose the right players to come in and suit the way his team wants to play, and they're doing very well for it.
Yeah, good analysis there, Dim. So you may have already answered this, but how do you think both teams are going to approach this game? Because considering that it didn't work last time out to try and dominate them with how we know they're going to play, should Adelaide United be changing it up?
It's a very good question, and it just goes to show the type of management and type of tactics that Carl wants to implement. I feel that, and knowing, playing against Carl in the local scene, that he's someone that doesn't really like to go astray of what he's been trying to do. I think the main message for his players is going to be that what we want to do is we're going to keep doing it to become the better team. And that's the type of coach I feel he's going to be. I don't see him changing structure. I don't see him changing tactics, to be fair, as well. We're going to be the home team. We're going to be the team that wants to dominate possession, create the better goal-scoring opportunities. And it really comes down to our quality on the day of what we're doing on the ball to not be able to burn it and create those good goal-scoring opportunities. So, look, different coaches approach it in different ways. I could be wrong in saying this. I don't think Carl will change many things at all. I think he's just going to want to make sure that the team that he puts out on the park delivers his tactics that he wants on the day, which is to dominate ball possession and to create the better goal scoring opportunities. So I think that as long as he keeps coaching that within the team, hopefully we will see that improvement, because in the day, like you said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, it is about results. And at the end of the day, we need to be winning games of football to ideally win a championship. So, yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens, especially with all these young players thrown into the fray as well. That might change a few things on the whiteboard. Now, just talking about Melbourne Victory, your favourite memory of games between these two teams. There's been plenty of crackers over the years, some actual real epic games that are up there with my favourite ever football memories. And that goes across, World Cups, Premier League, whatever. So I've got a feeling I know which one you're going to bring up, and it wasn't that long ago.
There's a couple. I will bring up that one, of course, but I do remember one clear performance. It was a 4-1 win away from home at the Amy Park. I reckon Sergio Van Dijk's scored a beautiful free kick. Was that 2010? Were you in the away bay that day, my friend?
I was not. I was in Black Point and had it on radio. But that was the Marcos Flores Van Dijk show. Yeah,
Van Dijk putting on an absolute performance that day as well. And look, another one before I mentioned is Evan Kostopoulos, a good friend of mine.
Of course.
He's scoring his brace in the first half at home. 2015, 2014, you're very good with years.
That was 2012. And just before you go on to the next
here you go.
That was one of the greatest ever atmospheres, Dim, that I've seen at Cooper Stadium.
And we normally... at that time, being family friends with Evan, we'd see him around that Christmas period for a nice Christmas lunch with the cousins, and he was part of the family friends that we knew. And seeing him score that brace was an awesome feeling. But obviously for me as well, seeing Kusini burst onto the scene, scoring that goal, celebrating in front of the crowd, bringing a bit of atmosphere, bringing a bit of character to the game, I think is very important, because I think sometimes that we need to bring a bit of character to the A-League. We want to make people talk about it. We want to see people discuss it wherever they are. So to see him score that goal and celebrate in front of the away crowd, which Adelaide United, Melbourne Victory is the original rivalry. It's the big derby game. We don't like them; they don't like us, and I think it's important that he added something to it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, those are also a great moment for me.
Now, I've got a feeling I heard someone got in his ear before that game and actually told him to celebrate in that manner. Can you?
I don't know. No. No.
I love it.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
that's all right. We'll leave it like that. No, yeah, I've got a good enough relationship with Kusini. He's a good lad, and like I said, enjoy the time. You enjoy your day, enjoy the moment of playing in a rivalry like that, especially when at that time where Melbourne weren't so good, which gives us a better chance of winning the game. So. Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, he's his own person, and I enjoyed the celebration. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, for any Melbourne Victory fans watching, you've just become public enemy number one there, Dim, because they did not enjoy that at all. Now, your prediction going into this game, Dim?
It's a tough one, yeah. Well, hearing that we're going to have quite a few young players playing and players that haven't really had that much of an opportunity, I still back Adelaide United's depth. I still think it's a good enough depth when you're considering what other clubs have in regards to what they've got for depth. But at the end of the day, you want to be putting on the best 11 to make sure that your quality's there to be able to win games. But in regards to depth, like players like, for me, Dukali, Dorigo, Coletti, these are players that I think deserve an opportunity to perform, and I think they're going to take their chance with it. So Adelaide United's going to win 2-0 on the day.
I like it. Just going back to what you said there. So who are we definitely better than this season? I would say maybe only Wellington and Mariners.
Oh, it's still very early as well. It's still very early.
Depth-wise.
I'd like to know, but depth in regards to the squad that we've got, the names that we've got within the group, I think they deserve an opportunity to showcase themselves. George Timotheo is someone that has been on the bench for a long, long time now. So, it'd be good to see how he goes. And it's important for him now to perform and stand up so that, if performances then don't go well enough in the league, that he's then counted on and then put into the squad. You need that within the culture of the group, you need that competitiveness to be able to test yourself. If you know that your 11's just going to play week in, week out, well, that's when you know that you're not going to go as well come game day. You need to make sure that if you make a mistake, that bang, the person that's on the bench is going to come in and take my spot. And that's what we need to see. And like I said, this game against Melbourne Victory will give the likes of the Dorigos. I've mentioned Toure's if he's fit, and all these players that haven't got themselves into that lineup to come in and showcase themselves.
Yeah, really.
A bit like what Ryan Kiddo did on Saturday. I was really proud of Ryan, and to see him play the left fullback role the way he did, with Cavallo being sore or injured, I thought he was brilliant, Ryan. So yeah, proud of him.
I like it, Dim. I love the lowdown you've given us today on Purebred Reds. Now, let's just quickly talk about the Comets again. We've had the 7-a-side finish at Ellis Park, which is always a fantastic, exciting little summer rendezvous that we get at the Comets there at Ellis Park. But otherwise, going into season 2022, it's going to be exciting. There's plenty of clubs making some waves in South Australia. We've got the new clubs coming into the league, obviously. Bacala are going to be one to watch, that's for sure. So you must be really excited looking forward to this 2022 season, because not only will you and the Comets be wanting to get that monkey off the back, but there's going to be a lot of good football to watch, as always, isn't there?
Yeah, there will be. A lot of teams have gone and strengthened. Campbelltown have signed some great players. They've brought back Jordi Marisic,
new coach,
Josh Baresi, new coach in Michael Matriciani. Pezos's Adelaide City is always going to be up there with the quality that they've got, and I think they're just going to get better. After having 1 year with Paul, so they're going to be tough to crack. Metro's always around the mark, but like you said, the two promoted teams in White City, Belgrade, and West Torrens, Bacala, they're two great teams and great clubs. Damien Murray coaching White City, and then you've got Trimmers coaching West Torrens, Bacala. They've gone and signed some players as well. Simic has left White City and has gone to West Torrens, Bacala, which is a bit of a controversial move. But, I mean, Simic is a high-quality player, very quick, and, yeah, everyone's looked to strengthen, and it really then comes down to how the coaches implement what they want to do in regards to their playing style over the pre-season, so that they can come in now and, yeah, hit round one, hopefully with 3 points, and then take it from there week in, week out.
And I understand you've got a new role at the Comets this season.
Yeah, no, it's nothing major. Just, yeah, I'm still working within the youth. I mean, I work very closely with Barney Smith as well. But yeah, being the 18s and reserves coach with my assistants there, and I'm also just looking after the 15s, the 17s, and the juniors as well. So just want to make sure that the consistency going through from our juniors to our senior setups there, and so that, I mean, when we're looking to promote players into the senior setup, that we're not, I mean, Barney's not teaching them new things, that they're learning and understanding what they need to do, and that's very important for anyone. So, I mean, we're very proud of the amount of youngsters that have come through the club. Tom Giannakopoulos is one who is only 17 years of age. He won the John Aloisi Rising Star Award. He's been phenomenal since he's come into the senior setup. Lachlan Stead, Nico Ikonomopoulos. I mean, there's just a lot of good youngsters coming through the club, and only problem is you can't fit them all in. So it comes down to, like we spoke about just before, about depth and competitiveness, and making sure that everyone's competing for their spot, so that no one's rocking up the training thinking they're already going to start and just cruising through. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Just managing half the age groups there, mate. No biggie at all. Now, you're looking...
With good support. That's the most important thing, with very good support around me.
Now, before we go, you're looking very relaxed for a teacher there. What's in store for you for the next few weeks, mate?
Say that again, sorry, I didn't get the last part.
What's in the pipelines for you over the next month or so? You've obviously got a bit of time off.
Yes, spending a bit of time with my beautiful girlfriend.
Give her a name drop, come on.
Yeah, Connie, well done. Yep, good to see you. Yeah, but like I said, getting back into pre-season as well with the Comets, and also, yeah, got to do a bit of planning for teaching as well. So, yeah, look, very lucky that us teachers get this little bit of a break, which is well-deserved, might I add, Ellis, because I keep hearing and seeing others say that you teachers get too much time off. Far from it.
Noble profession.
It is. But, no, like I said, it's, yeah, going well, mate. And I enjoyed the Fleurieu Peninsula quite a bit. If you haven't been down to Normanville, any of the purebred red listeners, I really recommend that you go down there. There's some beautiful locations. Yeah, exactly right. And just, I mean, beautiful places to go down and witness in South Australia. So I have done the Fleurieu. Now I need to go down to, not down, I need to go up to Yorks and go see what's up there.
Famous quote from 2017, Dim. Who needs Greece, right, when you've got the beaches of Adelaide?
Who say? Oh, yeah. I bet yeah. you drop that one on me, Ellis. But yeah, no, the beaches here, Aldinga Beach, being able to drive your car down, and I mean what we're able to get here at Aldinga Beach, it's beautiful, mate. You can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Now, where do you do your shopping when it comes to soccer, Dim? I'll give you a hint. It's a place in Findon, I believe.
Soccer Locker.
Yeah. Shout out to them, our great sponsors. Thanks for watching, guys. Dim, thanks so much for your time. All the best with everything. I know you've got a jam-packed load of activities to get stuck into, even though you're on this lovely teacher break that the great teachers of the state are very much entitled to, and I'm sure always enjoy. You take care of yourself and enjoy the football on Wednesday night when Melbourne Victory come to town. We'll see you very soon. Stay safe, Dim, and all the best.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, and go on, you Reds.
You bet. Thanks to Dimi Pana, thanks to Soccer Locker, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.